introduction, the Ecuador rose industry is shrinking example of benefits of free trade of globalization. Lower barriers of trade have allowed Ecuador to exploit comparative advantages in the growing process of enabled of country to emerge as one of large exporters of roses in the world. This benefits Ecuador, where economic growth and personal incomes have been bolstered by the emergence of rose-growing industry. The economic arguments surrounding the benefits and costs of free trade and goods and services are not abstract academic ones. International trade theory has shaped the economic policy of many nations for the 50 years. The first to review a number of theories that explain why it's essential of country to engage international trade. The second rule is to explain the pattern of international trade that we obsess in the world of economy. With regard to the pattern of trade, we we will to prepare a primary concern with explaining the patterns of exports and imports of goods and services between countries and trade. A historical perspective. Dominant from the 16th to 17th centuries, mercantilism held that national wealth depended on accumulating gold and silver. Countries aimed to maximize exports and maximize imports, believing that trade was a zero-sum game where one nation gained was another loss. This often involved government intervention through tariff and subsidies, while largely discredited mercant- mer- mercantile mercantilist ideas still influence some modern trade policies. In 1776, Adam Smith challenged mercantilism with his theory of absolute advantages. He argued that countries should specialize in producing goods where they are more efficient than others, leading to manual gains from free approach and believing an invisible hand of the market will optimize trade without government intervention. Ricardo's theory of competitive advantages. Early 19th centuries, built upon Smith's work, demonstrated that even if one country if is more efficient at producing all goods, both countries can benefit from specializing in the trading um, goods where they have relative advantages um, and lower opportunity costs. This form the core arguments for unrestricted free trade. In the 20th century, Eli Hacker and Bertel Ohlin further developed trade theory with their Hacker-Ohlin model. This model emphasizes the role of factor and endowment, land, labor, and capital, and determining a country comparative advantages. Country export goods that intensively use the relatively abundant factor and import goods requiring the relatively scarce factor. Next is the benefits of trade. The great strength of the theories of Smith, Ricardo, and Hitcher Onlin is that they identify identity with precision that specific benefits of international trade. Nobody would suggest that Kellen should grow its own orange. Iceland can benefit from trade by enhancing some of the products that it set um, can produce at low cost. Fish for some products that is cannot produce at all, like orange. Those by engaging in international trade, Icelanders are able to add orange to their diet of fish. And to the theories of Smith, Ricardo, and Hector only go behind this com- commuter's view emotion. However, the thread even for product it able to produce for itself. This difficult concept for people to grasp. For example, many people is in the United States believe that American consumers buy product made in United States by American companies whenever compile to help save American jobs from foreign competition. The pattern of international trade. The theories of Smith, Ricardo, and Hector only help to explain the pattern of international trade that we observe the world economy. Some aspects of the pattern are easy to understand. Climate and natural resource endowment explain why Ghana export cocoa, Brazil exports coffee, Saudi Arabia export oil, and China export crawfish. The patterns of international trade are complex, influenced by various factors and explained by several economic theories. While some aspects are easily understood, like Ghana's coconut exports due to climate, others requires deeper analysis. This explanation will explore the key theories contributing to our understanding of these patterns. Materialism make limiting theories of Smith, Ricardo, and Hector only form part of the case of unrestricted free trade. The argument of unrestricted free trade is the both of import control and export incentives, such as subsidies, are self-defeating and result in wasted resources. Both of new trade theory, Porter's theory of national competitive advantages can be interpreted as justifying some limited government intervention to support the development concerning export-oriented industries. So I will discuss to you the pros and cons of argument known as strategic trend policy, as well the pros and cons of the argument for unrestricted free trade on chapter. Next is mercantilism, the first theory of international trade. Mercantilism emerged in England in the mid 16th century. The principal essentials of mercantilism was that gold and silver were the mainstays of national wealth and essential to victorious of commerce. At the time, gold and silver were the currency of trade between countries. A country could earn gold and silver by exporting goods. The earliest theory of international trade held the belief that a national wealth was primarily determined by its accumulation of gold and silver, achieved through promoting exports and limiting imports, essentially aiming for a positive trade balance. Next is absolute advantages. In his 1776 landmark book is The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith attacked the mercantile trade is a zero-sum ability to produce goods efficiently. In his time, the English, by virtue of their superior manufacturing processes, were the world most efficient textile manufacturers due to the combination of variable climate, good, good soils, and accumulated expertise. The French had the world's most efficient wine industry. Imagine two countries, each with the same resources. One is better at making textiles, the other at making wine. Adam Smith's theory of absolute advantages says each country should focus on what it does best, its absolute advantages. Then they trade getting both textiles and wine, better than if each tried to make everything themselves. This is figure 5.1, the theory of absolute advantages. This is the table of cocoa and rice. By engaging in trade and swiping 1 ton of cotton for 1 ton for rice, produced in both countries could consume more of both cocoa and rice. Imagine that Ghana and South Korea swap cocoa and rice on the 1-to-1 basis. Is the price of 1 ton of cocoa is equal to the price of 1 ton of rice. If Ghana decided to export 6 tons of cocoa to South Korea and import 6 tons of rice in return, its final consumption after the trade would be 14 tons of cocoa and 6 tons of rice.
So, hello everyone. The next topic is all about new trade theory. So, new trade theory or NTT is highlights the importance of strategic industry entry and skill economies in shaping trade patterns. And NTT or new trade industry, but it also underscores the need for adaptability to market conditions. So entity facets that countries can gain from international trade without differences in resources by um, by specializing in the productions of certain goods. Nations can achieve economies of skills and reducing production costs. So these specializations allows country allow countries to import other goods and services for their product. The entity or new trade theory, like what I said, this specialized allows countries to import other goods from nations that have similar specialized. So, leading to the greater variety of product for consumers and lower prices. Consequently, resources are freed up to the production of additional goods and services, enhancing overall economic efficiency and consumer welfare. That's the new trade theory. So the next theory is evaluating Porter theory. So in Porter's theory, Porter's contained that the degree to which a nation is likely to achieve international success in a certain industry is a function of combined impact of factors and domains, domestic demand condition related, supporting industry, and domestic rivalry. So the presence of all four competence the presence of all four components is usually required for this to boost competitive performance, although there are exceptions. So Porter also contends that government can influence each of the four components of that.